My name is Harper, and I invited my childhood bully to my wedding. He thought it was forgiveness. Everyone did. But when he arrived, his place card wasn't at a table. It was taped to a high chair, right next to the dessert table. The real revenge was in the seat assignment. My name is Harper, and for most of my life, I saw a ghost in the mirror. The ghost was me, shaped by Liam. Harper, get in here. My stepbrother's voice was a drill. I was 8, trying to finish a diorama for school. My hands shook. Liam, what's wrong? My stepdad, Ben, called from the living room. She took my game controller. It's gone. I hadn't touched it. I didn't. Liam appeared in my doorway, a smirk hidden from the adults. I saw her with it, Dad. She's lying. Ben's heavy footsteps came down the hall. He filled my doorway, not even looking at me. Give it back, Harper. Now. But I don't have it. Don't you lie to me, Ben said, his voice flat. Apologize to your brother. The tears were hot and stupid. I'm sorry, I whispered to Liam's shoes. Louder. I'm sorry. Later, I found the controller under my bed, where Liam had put it. My diorama was crushed, left in the hallway. Mom found me trying to fix it. What happened, honey? Liam ruined it. He lied. She sighed, rubbing her temples. Sweetheart, he's just adjusting. We're a new family. Can't you try a little harder? Just keep the peace. The peace. That was my job. It was a quiet war. Dinner was the worst. Every night, a battlefield. She's chewing too loud, Liam would say, not looking up from his plate. Ben would glare. Harper. Manners. One night, I dropped my fork. It clattered on the plate. Liam's eyes lit up. She did that on purpose. So disruptive. That's enough, Harper, Ben snapped. You know the rules. Take your plate. Go to your seat. My throat closed. The seat of shame was a tiny, wobbly stool in the corner of the dining room, away from the table. A baby's seat for a misbehaving child. Ben, it was an accident, my mom said softly. Rules are rules, Sarah. She needs to learn. I carried my plate to the corner, my back to them, eating alone as they laughed at something on TV. I became a ghost at the table. The whispers were the sharpest tools. No one really likes you, you know, Liam muttered as we brushed our teeth one night. I was 12. Your dad left because you were too much trouble. Mom stays because she has to. You're just pathetic. I stared at the girl in the mirror. She looked small. Believable. I started to believe him. At 16, I tried to fight back. I got a B on a math test. Liam failed his. At dinner, I gathered all my courage. Mr. Davies said I had the most improved grade in the class. Ben grunted. Good. Liam dropped his spoon. She cheats. Everyone knows. She copies off that girl, Chloe. I do not. Liam, that's a serious accusation, my mom said. It's true, Dad. Ask anyone. Ben turned his stone face to me. Did you cheat? No. I stuttered. She's lying, Liam said, a smooth, practiced curve to his lips. Ben's verdict was swift. No phone for a month. And no seeing Chloe. I won't have a liar in this house. I looked at my mom. Her eyes were on her plate, cutting her meat into tiny, precise pieces. She was keeping the peace. Her silence was a gavel, slamming down on me. That night, I cried into my pillow, soundlessly. The ghost in the mirror was winning. I was disappearing. The breaking point was a small, quiet thing. I was 18. I'd saved a little money from a secret weekend job. I bought a small, framed print of a sunflower field. It made me happy. I put it on my dresser. 2 days later, it was gone. I found it in the kitchen trash, the glass shattered. Liam was making a sandwich. Oh, that. It was ugly. Cluttered up the room. I didn't confront him. I went to my mom, holding the broken frame. Mom, he destroyed my things. Again. She took the frame from me, her face tired. Harper, please. He's just difficult. Don't make waves. It's easier for everyone if you just let it go. I looked at her. really looked. She was choosing her peace over my pain, her comfort over my survival. That neglect, that betrayal, felt colder than any of Liam's words. I let it go. All of it. That night, I packed a single bag. I left the ghost in the mirror. I wrote a note, "I'm leaving. Don't look for me." I slipped out my window as the sun was coming up, and for the first time in 10 years, I took a full, deep breath of air that didn't hurt. The first year was a blur of cheap coffee and aching feet. I worked a diner shift at dawn and stocked shelves at night. Community college filled the cracks in between. But there was a strange, shaky freedom in it. My first real choice was in a grocery aisle at 2 a.m. I stood staring at the cereal boxes, my heart pounding. "You okay?" I jumped. A girl with bright blue hair was eyeing me, a carton of oat milk in her hand. "Yeah. Sorry. Just cereal." She laughed. "A truly monumental life decision. Go with the Lucky Charms. Life's too short." I bought the Lucky Charms. I ate them dry, straight from the box, sitting on the floor of my studio apartment. No one mocked me. It was quiet. That girl was Grace. She became my roommate when her lease fell through. "This place is a closet, Harper," she said, dropping her duffel bag. "I love it." One night, after a bad dream, I woke up crying. She found me on the couch. "Hey. What's the matter?" I shook my head. "It's nothing. Just stupid. Try me." The words tumbled out in fragments. My stepbrother, he had this stool. A seat of shame. And my stepdad always believed him, and my mom just told me to keep the peace. Grace listened, her face getting stiller and harder. When I finished, she didn't hug me. She leaned forward, her eyes blazing. "Harper. That's not stupid. That's emotional abuse. And their neglect. That's betrayal. You know that, right?" No one had ever named it before. It made it real. Solid. I guess. You guess. It is. They were supposed to protect you. They didn't. She handed me a tissue. "We're going to build you a life so good it makes their heads spin." And we tried. I started making custom jewelry, little wire-wrapped stones, selling them online. Grace handled the social media, calling me a reclaimed artist. That's how Ethan found me. He messaged about a necklace for his sister. We met at the diner where I worked. He was tall, with kind eyes that didn't look away. "You're Harper. The craftsmanship on that piece is incredible." "Thanks. It's just a hobby." "It's not," he said, "simple as that." Our first real date, a man at the next table raised his voice, arguing about a bill. I flinched, my fork clattering on my plate. My whole body braced. Ethan's hand covered mine, his thumb stroking my knuckles. "Hey," he said softly, waiting until my eyes met his. "You're safe here. With me." He saw the flinches. He saw how I apologized for taking the last roll, for being 5 minutes late, for simply talking about my day. "Why are you sorry for existing?" he asked once, not angry, just curious. I don't know." "Well, stop. You have nothing to apologize for." He said it until I started to believe it. With Grace's fire and Ethan's steady calm, I grew. My little business became a real one. I found my voice, even if it sometimes shook. Then, one evening at our favorite park, Ethan got down on one knee. The ring was simple, perfect. "Harper, you are the strongest, most beautiful person I know. Will you marry me?" "Yes." I laughed, crying, kissing him. Pure joy. Then, like a cold tide, it washed over me. The family list. My stomach turned to ice. "What's wrong?" Ethan asked, holding my face. "My family. The wedding, they'd have to be invited." "You don't have to invite anyone who hurt you." "But if I don't," I whispered, the idea forming, sharp and clear, "they get to pretend it never happened. Liam gets to think I'm still that ghost." Ethan searched my eyes. "What do you want to do?" I saw it then. Not a scream. A statement. An elegant, silent piece of justice, delivered on a day of love. "I want to invite them," I said, my voice stronger than I felt. "Every single one of them." And I want Liam to have the best seat in the house. A slow smile spread across Ethan's face. He understood. Then that's what we'll do. The invitation was my weapon. I addressed the envelope to Mr. Liam Carter with a steady hand. This wasn't forgiveness. This was a summons. My wedding day dawned bright and clear. I should have been nervous about my vows, about tripping during the first dance. But my heart was a frantic drum, counting down to one thing: their arrival. Grace zipped up my dress, her hands steady on my shoulders. Breathe, Harper. Today is yours. He's just a guest. A prop. A prop that can still make me feel 8 years old, I whispered. Not today. Today, you're the director. She spun me to face the mirror. The woman looking back wore a gown like armor, her eyes clear. The ghost was gone. Ethan found me just before the ceremony. He took my hands, his thumbs brushing my knuckles. Your hands are ice. They're here. I saw the car pull up. He leaned close, his forehead against mine. I love you. This is our day. Whatever happens, we walk out of here husband and wife. That's the only win that matters. He saw the plan in my eyes and nodded. Okay. Let's do it. The ceremony was a beautiful blur. I saw only Ethan, his voice promising forever. I said my vows, strong and sure. But in the periphery, I felt them. A dark blot on the sunny lawn. The receiving line was the first test. My mom reached me first. She looked small, her eyes watery and unsure. Harper, you look beautiful. Thank you, Mom. My voice was polite, distant. She hesitated, like she wanted to say more, but the line pushed her along. Ben was next, his handshake too firm. Quite the show, he said, his tone implying it was all for show. Then, Liam. He stood before me, that familiar, condescending smirk twisting his mouth. He pulled me into a hug. It was stiff, a performance. His breath was hot against my ear as he whispered, "Never thought you'd land a guy like that, huh? Good for you." Every cell in my body screamed to shove him away. Instead, I gave a thin, cold smile as he pulled back. So glad you could make it, Liam. The reception began. Laughter and music filled the air. I held Ethan's hand tightly as we greeted friends. But my eyes kept tracking table 12. Finally, dinner was announced. Guests milled, finding their elegant place cards. I watched as my mom, Ben, and Liam approached their table. My mother's card was there. Sarah Carter. Ben's was beside it. Benjamin Carter. Liam's was not. He scanned the table, a frown forming. Where's mine? Ben leaned over, his brow furrowed. What's the hold-up? My mom picked up her card, as if looking under it. It must be a mistake. Then Ben saw it. His face, already ruddy from drink, deepened to an angry purple. He pointed a thick finger across the room, his voice a low growl. What is that? All three of them turned. There, positioned squarely beside the towering wedding cake and the elaborate cupcake display, was an ornate, white high chair. The kind meant for a fancy photo shoot, with delicate scrollwork on the legs. Taped neatly to its clean, wooden tray was a single, crisp place card. In the same elegant script as every other card at the reception, it read, Liam. The chatter around table 12 died. Guests nearby followed their gaze. A confused, then understanding, silence began to ripple outwards. Liam just stared. His smug triumph evaporated, replaced by a slow, dawning horror. He wasn't being welcomed. He was being exhibited. The music from the band seemed to fade. All the air was sucked from the room, leaving a vacuum of pure, silent shock. Liam stared at the high chair, his face cycling from confusion to a deep, blotchy humiliation. Is this a joke? He finally spat, his voice too loud in the quiet. This was my moment. I let go of Ethan's hand. My wedding gown whispered against the floor as I walked toward table 12. Every eye followed me. I stopped a few feet from them, my voice calm, clear, and carrying. No, Liam. It's not a joke. It's a reminder. He glared at me. A reminder of what? That you're childish. Of the seat of shame, I said, And the old, hated term felt like a stone I was finally throwing back. That tiny, broken stool in the corner of our dining room. For 10 years, you made me sit there. You decided when I misbehaved. You made me eat alone, facing the wall. You treated me like a worthless child. My mom made a small, wounded sound. I turned my gaze to her. Mom, you told me to keep the peace. Your peace cost me everything. I looked at Ben, his fists clenched. And you, Ben, you always believed him. You enforced it. You all made me feel that small. I turned back to Liam, who was now pale. So today, on the day I start my real family, you get to sit where you made me feel I belonged. In the corner. By the desserts. In the high chair. Like the child you still are, one who never learned to be kind. The fallout was instant. My mother burst into raw, ugly tears, her hands covering her face. Harper, I'm so sorry. Ben stepped forward, his face a thundercloud. How dare you? This is disgusting. Have some respect. Respect? I asked, my voice still eerily steady. You're lecturing me on respect. Now. But it was Liam I watched. He wasn't looking at me or his furious father. He was staring at the high chair, then at the sea of guests, Ethan's large, warm family, my friends, Grace with her phone subtly recording all their faces, masks of pity or cold disapproval. I saw the exact moment the crushing weight of his own shame landed on him. His shoulders slumped. The bully vanished, leaving a hollow, exposed man. He didn't yell. He didn't fight. Without a word, he turned and walked stiffly through the tables, out the door of the reception hall, and was gone. Ben roared after him, Liam, get back here. He then whirled on me. You've ruined this family. You ruined it a long time ago, I said softly. You just didn't have to look at the damage until today. He grabbed my sobbing mother's arm and stormed out, following Liam's path of retreat. The silence held for a beat longer. Then Ethan was beside me, his arm around my waist. Grace gave me a fierce, glowing nod from across the room. The band, taking a cue, struck up a light, joyful tune. Conversations slowly started again, buzzing with a new, electric energy. Later, as the reception wound down, my mother found me by the coat check. Her eyes were swollen. Harper, please. I was wrong. I was so scared, and I chose wrong. Can we talk? I looked at her, this woman who had been my first betrayer. The damage was a canyon between us, too deep and too old to cross with a few tears. Not today, Mom, I said, my voice tired but final. Today is my beginning. It's not about your ending. She nodded, a shattered movement, and walked away alone. When the last guest had gone, Ethan helped me into the car. He didn't start the engine right away. He just took my hand. How do you feel? He asked. I waited for the vengeance, the triumph. It didn't come. Instead, I felt light. As if a weight I'd carried in my bones for 2 decades had finally been lifted and left in that hall, right beside a fancy white high chair. I feel free, I whispered. As we drove away from the lights of the venue, I caught our reflection in the dark car window. I saw Ethan, strong and steady beside me. And I saw myself, Harper, not a ghost. The little girl he bullied had grown up. Her justice had been quiet, elegant, and absolutely perfect. She was finally, truly, home.